Out where the coyote cries and the moon don't rise. There's a tale buried deep in the sand. Gold once shine in a canyon dark. Now it's guarded by a ghost with a brand. These are the secrets the desert keeps. Whispers in the wind where justice sleeps. Outlaws gone, but legends don't rest. Mysteries of the American Wild West. Boot prints fade and campfires die, but truth still hides behind that sky. These are the secrets the desert keeps. Whispers in the wind where justice sleeps. Outlaws gone, but legends don't rest. Mysteries of the American Wild West. Mysteries of the American Wild West.
Mysteries of the Wild West. Well, happy Sunday, and welcome to Dave's After Hours Trivia Club Live. Step inside the lounge, grab your drink of choice, and settle in. Here at Dave's After Dark, we stir up memories, test your smarts, and maybe, just maybe, teach you something new along the way. We do go live most Sundays and sometimes even on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern and 4 p.m. Pacific time. We do have a very special show lined up for you tonight. All 3 rounds are focused around the mysteries of the American Wild West. Might even have a couple pub quizzes as well. While our robots quickly painting the scene, I serve up the clues, and you will take your best guesses as we move through tonight's 3 categories. First, the top 20 countdown of the most iconic figures from the American Wild West. Next, we'll be doing the top 20 countdown of the greatest mysteries associated with the American Wild West. And finally, we'll be doing the top 20 countdown of the most famous boomtowns of the American Wild West. This isn't just a trivia show, it's a fast-paced gauntlet of art, memory, and mystery. Let's see how many you can guess before the brush finishes their final stroke. We made it. All right, now. But truth still hides. I did want to mention our schedule for the upcoming weeks. We, of course, are doing our live show tonight, Sunday, June 8th. And then on Wednesday, June 11th, we will be doing a variety night featuring Brad Pitt movies. And then the following Sunday, so a week from today, we will be dark. There will be no show that Sunday. I am traveling a bit, so we can't do that show, but we'll be back the following Wednesday on June 18th with another variety show, and that will feature top sitcoms as well as American patriots, also featuring British folks involved in the American Revolution. So we should have fun with that. Now be sure to check in down in the chat. Say hello, throw out your guesses, or just hang with the crew. Hey, Arena, good to see you. Early Bird is here. And I did want to mention our sponsor real quickly, davidhansonart.com. That's me, where you can find our live shows, related art, and merch products for your enjoyment. We may talk a little bit about that later. All right. It's time to fire up the robots and get our first round underway. Hang on. We will be underway in a moment. There we go. Okay. You guys know the rules. The robots do the painting, you do the guessing, and I do give a few clues along the way. Now again, this first round is going to be the top 20 countdown of the most iconic figures from the American Wild West. Should be fun. Here we go. Starting with number 20. This gentleman started as an Army scout and interpreter during the Apache Wars. He was involved in the capture of Geronimo. He later worked as a range detective with a shoot first, ask never reputation. He claimed he didn't realize his final target was just a 14-year-old boy. He didn't realize. He was hanged for murder, and he remains one of the West's most controversial lawmen or enforcers. Anybody have any idea who this is? It's a toughie. There's going to be a few easy ones and a few hard ones. This one might be kind of tough. This guy was born in 1860 and passed in 1903, if that helps you at all. Perhaps not. Well, I'm going to give you the first one. This is Mr. Tom Horn. Familiar to anybody? No? Tom Horn blurred the lines between justice and assassination. To some, he was a necessary evil in a lawless land. To others, he was a cold-blooded killer cloaked in a cowboy legend. Mr. Tom Horn. There he is. Seems like a nice guy. All right, let's move on. Let's do the next one. Number 19. This guy was born Crawford Goldsby. He had a mixed African, Cherokee, and Mexican heritage. Hey, Essie. What's going on? We got another killer. He's known for his deadly accuracy and lack of hesitation. He killed a guard during an attempted jailbreak. That'll get you more trouble. He was executed at just 20 years old. He was one of the deadliest outlaws of the Indian Territory. All right. So he was born, his name was Crawford Goldsby, but he had a nickname that's much more well known. I know these are hard. There he is, though. Any guesses? Going once, going twice. Well, this guy is known as Cherokee Bill. Cherokee Bill. Big deal. Born in 1876, and like I said, passed in 1896. 20 years old. Oh, the youth gone bad. Cherokee Bill lived fast and died young, real young. His legend lingers as a symbol of rebellion and racial complexity on the western frontier. There he is, Cherokee Bill. Once again, seems like a nice guy when you see him. All right, this gal's pretty interesting. And she did live a long life. She was one of the first professional women to travel the frontier independently. She broke him out. Her life intersected famously with Doc Holliday. She knew Doc. She broke him out of jail by setting a building on fire. And she lived to nearly 90 years old. She was born in 1850 and didn't pass till 1940, outlasting most of her contemporaries. She was known as Doc Holliday's fierce companion and a survivor of the Wild West. Hey, doctor! Thank you, doctor. She does kind of have a big nose. Am I right? You are correct. You're correct. This is Big Nose Kate. Big Nose Kate. Of course, Doc's friend. Big Nose Kate was more than a footnote in a gunman's story. She lived a wild, stubborn, fearless life and got last word in more ways than one. Nice. All right, let's move on. Number 17. His lawman career started when he arrested a drunk cowboy in New Mexico. Well, that doesn't sound too unusual. That led to a 33-hour shootout. He survived despite being outnumbered 80-1. How about that? Not Wyatt Earp, but he kind of looks like Wyatt. But this isn't Wyatt. This guy's another famous lawman. He later became a lawyer and a political figure. He claimed his badge wasn't big enough to be scared. I guess, okay. A real-life Hispanic folk hero who defended Mexican communities in the West. Not Wild Bill, but hang on to Wild Bill. He may come up. He may come up later. This job is pretty famous. That 80-1 thing, the 33-hour shootout. I mean, come on. Going once, going twice. Now, this guy's name is El Fuego Baca. El Fuego Baca. Born in 1865 and passed in 1945. El Fuego Baca was a one-man war. Grit brains and refused to back down. There he is. Another nice guy. All right, now we'll get into a little more famous names, perhaps. You may know this one. This gentleman started as a scout and buffalo hunter for the U.S. Army. He claimed to have killed over 4,000 buffalo to feed his workers. He created a touring show that brought the Wild West to the world. This is the show guy. Yeah, there you go, doctor. His show starred real figures like Annie Oakley and Sitting Bull. Did you know that? That Sitting Bull was in the Wild West show? The man who turned cowboy culture into a global theater. Yeah, there he is. Now, yes, does anybody know his real first name? Buffalo Bill Cody is, of course, correct. He was born in 1846 and passed in 1917. Buffalo Bill didn't just live the Wild West, he produced it. His blend of myth and memory helped define how the world remembers the American frontier. And he was Bill Buffalo Bill. William was his first name. That don't make no sense. Bill Buffalo Bill Cody. Now you know something. Learn something every day on Dave's After Dark. Next up, number 15. Number 15. Now, I never heard of this guy, so good luck. Rufus is in the house. He wasn't a cowboy, but he helped create them on paper. Oh, that's interesting. A prolific dime novelist, he turned frontier tales into mass market myths. This is a writer. He wrote about the Wild West. He helped launch the legend of Buffalo Bill with a popular stage play. He exaggerated almost everything, including his own exploits. The man behind the pen who helped invent the Wild West as we now know it. So, in a way, he's responsible for this show. Zane Grey, that sounds like a good guess, but not the name I got up here. P.T. Barnum, I like that. He's the circus guy, though. He's not the guy who wrote about the Wild West. Louis L'Amour, I like that too. He's another Western writer. This guy's name was Ned Buntline. Everybody knows. Ned Buntline turned cowboys into characters and outlaws into icons. His mostly true tales shaped the mythos of the West. There he is. That's a nice guy. All right. I've heard of this guy. So good luck. Now this gentleman, can't see him yet. A little hard to see. He fought in the Battle of Adobe Walls against the Comanches. He made his name as a lawman in Dodge City. This is one of the Dodge City shifts, alongside Wyatt Earp. But not Wyatt Earp. Big Tommy. No, not Big Tommy. Unless that was a nickname. He once shot a man over a card game and became a journalist later on. I don't know what the two things have to do with each other. His cane was more famous than his gun in his New York years. Oh, later on, his cane was more famous. There you go. From gunfighter to sports writer, he's the West's most stylish career pivot. Doctor! I don't know how you knew that, but we'll give it to you. Bat Masterson is correct. Brad knew it too. Holy smokes, you guys are amazing me. Bat Masterson lived many lives, gunslinger, sheriff, and dapper New York columnist. He proved you could shoot straight and write sharp, all with a flair. Wow, you guys impressed me on that one. All right. Well, let's see if you know this one. This guy is on the other side of the fence. He was the leader of the Nez Perce during their desperate 1,400-mile retreat. They tried to get away. He was known for his tactical brilliance and humanity in war. His surrender speech became one of the most famous in American history. Who gave a famous speech and who helped him escape to Canada? Not Sitting Bull. But hang on to Sitting Bull. He may show up. I will fight no more forever, he said, yet he fought for justice until his death. A native leader whose grace and defeat earned him enduring respect. Grace and defeat. I don't know about that. That sounds pretty weird. Running Bull. I like that. Not Geronimo. Although hang on to those answers, because it is the Wild West and they may come up. I thought you guys would know this one. How's that? This is Mr. Chief Joseph. That's not familiar? Nez Perce. Chief Joseph. Chief Joseph's bravery and sorrow left a lasting mark. In a world that celebrated violence, he chose dignity. There he is. Dignity. His words still echo in the American conscience. Brad got it? Okay, Brad. Oh, you sure did. Brad, you got it way in the beginning. That's why it threw me off. Sorry. You know. I'm busy, giving clues. I'm busy acting. Yeah, good job, Brad. Known as the Bandit Queen, she ran with outlaws, including Jesse James. She dressed in velvet and carried pistols in plain sight. She was accused of harboring criminals and making headlines while doing it. She was murdered mysteriously. Her killer never identified. Not Ellie Mae, but the doctor knows. Brad's pissed now. He left. Just teasing. She was murdered mysteriously. Her killer never identified. A frontier woman who broke the law and rewrote the rules. And yes, Doctor, you are correct. Belle Starr. Belle Starr. Belle Starr was a pistol-packing icon of female defiance. Her life and death were both clouded in drama, legend, and just enough truth to keep her unforgettable. There you go, Belle Starr. You look worried. You look worried. All right, number 11. You guys are doing better than I thought. Now you'll know this one. This gentleman was a trapper, a scout, and Indian agent with mythical endurance. Mythical endurance? What are they talking about? He guided John Fremont across the Rockies on multiple expeditions. His name was known across the country, even by those who never saw a horse. Minnesota Jack. I like your answers, Essie. I like your answers, but they're incorrect. Controversially involved in forced relocations of Native Americans. Uh-oh. Controversially involved. Kind of an unusual picture of him, I would say. A symbol of rugged exploration, he was caught between heroism and tragedy. I think we would usually see him like in a trapper hat. Is that it? Colonel Custer? No. This is more of a trapper, explorer, scout guy. There you go, doggo. Brett didn't have that earlier, did he? I don't see it. Kit Carson was as real as Western legends get. Tireless, complex, and controversial. All right, here we go. This guy's pretty interesting. This is the son of a captured white woman and a Comanche chief. Interesting. He led his, I think Cher wrote a song about that. He led his people in resistance before helping guide her transition to reservation life. He adopted European clothing and built a Victorian mansion, but he kept his polygamy. He kept some of his Indian ways. Anybody remember? Son of a Comanche chief and a captured white woman. The last Comanche chief, he became chief and the ultimate symbol of cultural duality on the frontier. Dog. for the team. Yeah, close on the spelling. Close on the spelling. Kuanah. Q-U-A-N-A-H. So we'll give it to you. Definitely close enough. Kuanah Parker. Kuanah Parker was both warrior and negotiator, bridging two worlds with unmatched charisma in a time of ending. He created something enduring. There he is. He's a happy guy. I don't know if Brad's still here, but he kind of looks like our friend Wayne, doesn't he, there? If Brad's still in the house. Number 9. You know this guy. He's known much more for his hair and pistols as his poker face. Oh, he's known as much for it, yes. You didn't think he looked like him? I thought he looked a little bit like Wayne. The gentleman was killed in Deadwood while holding the infamous dead man's hand. His duels were deadly, his reputation larger than life, a gunslinger who made legend look good. Yes, there you go. Everybody knows this one, don't they? Dr. Brad Rhombus. Aces and eights. The dead man's hand. Wild Bill Hickok is, of course, correct. Born in 1837, passed in 1876. Wild Bill's flair made him the Old West's first celebrity gunslinger. He died with his boots on. And his legend dressed to kill. There he is, Wild Bill. What a guy. Oh, we have to wait now for his little video at the end. Even though you got it early, we still have to wait. There he is. Look. He's a nice guy. All right, I think you're going to know the rest of these. We'll see. Number 8. This gentleman was once a buffalo hunter and a bartender. He became a sheriff in New Mexico. That's a key clue, I'd say. He tracked and killed Billy the Kid. Or did he? Right, there's some story about Billy still being alive, I think, today. His book made him famous, but also stirred up doubts. He died violently in a dispute as murky as the life he led. Yes, doctor. Yes, you are correct. The lawman who made his name by ending another legend. So that's how he became famous, and he's the guy who supposedly killed Billy. Yeah, that's him, Mr. Pat Garett. Pat Garett. He was born in 1850, and he did pass in 1908. Garett was both hero and ghost chaser, forever defined by a single shot and the myth that created. Pat Garett? Yes, you are all correct. Dr. and Brad. Pat Garett. There he is. Can't really see a smile through that mustache, but I think he's smiling. All right, you know this lady. Although she doesn't look much like a lady. She fought in Indian wars and drank in every saloon in the Dakotas. She was a drinker. She once claimed to have saved an entire stagecoach from an ambush. Very good, Brad. You're very quick. She performed in Wild West shows, but lived most of her life rough and free. She looks a little rough. Fiercely loyal to Wild Bill Hickok. And she was buried right next to him. She was a frontierswoman who blurred gender lines and pistol calibers. Yeah, I'd say that's correct. Yeah, when you don't have the Starlink, you're quicker. You are quicker. Calamity Jane. Calamity Jane is correct. You are right. Calamity Jane was loud, loyal, and unforgettably wild. Whether her tales were true or not, she lived louder than most men dared. There she is. She's a little better when she smiled. Got all our teeth. All right, number 6. You'll know this guy. His look is even famous. I think you might even get it from the picture alone. He's a Confederate guerrilla turned bank robbing outlaw. Dodger. He became a folk hero despite violent tactics. His gang terrorized railroads and towns across the Midwest. He was killed by a fellow gang member who was hoping to get the reward. Treachery. This is the outlaw who became the original American anti-hero. It's the original anti-hero. You are correct. This is Mr. Jesse James. Jesse James. Isn't there some guy that makes motorcycles or something named Jesse James? What I'm thinking. But as in the house, what's going on, man? 1847 to 1882, Mr. James didn't just rob banks, he robbed the line between villain and hero. His charisma was just as dangerous as his revolver. Yeah, look, he's got some charisma. Look at that. Look at that. All right. Down to number 5. We're going to do the top 5 legends of the American West. Number 5. This gentleman actually escaped slavery and became a U.S. deputy marshal. He arrested over 3,000 felons, often when disguised in clever costumes. What? Okay. He's known for never being bribed or bested in a shootout. He inspired legends, possibly he even inspired the legend of the Lone Ranger. Wow. Yeah, Django. Not your doctor. You're really close, but it's not Sam Bass. It's something different than that, but close. Yeah, I know you know it. The real life black lawman of the West who brought justice with unmatched grit. There you go, Brad. Way to correct the doctor there. Another doctor was on the right track. Yeah, Mr. Bass Reeves. Bass Reeves was justice in spurs. His story is literally getting its due because even legends deserve backup. I don't know what that means, but that's okay. Bass Reeves. There he is. Kind of looks like the game show guy. What's his name? Okay, number 4. Here we go. You know this guy. And this is even a famous picture of it. So I don't think you'll have any trouble with this. The highlight, though, is the little movie at the end. You have to stay for the little video at the end. An Apache leader who led daring raids against the U.S. and Mexican forces. He claimed supernatural protection from bullets. Well, that's handy to have. He evaded capture repeatedly in the Southwest's harshest terrain. Sugar! Yeah, Steve Harvey. All right. Thank you for the Steve Harvey. Not Sitting Bull. This is the other one. Yeah, yeah. The doc has this one. He became a prisoner of war and a celebrity in the final years. A symbol of resistance, rebellion, and resilience. That's the robot's most favorite word, resilience. Yeah, we like to use that with Native Americans because, what else are you going to say? Anyway, yes, Geronimo. This is the man, the legend. Geronimo's spirit haunts American history. Not with fear, but with fierce, unbroken pride. And he's happy there. We're happy. We're happy that he's happy. Yeah. Top three. You'll know this guy. Pretty famous picture. This gentleman led something called the Wild Bunch, a gang more polite than most bankers. He pulled off robberies with flair and planning, not chaos. He fled to South America, maybe died there, or maybe he didn't die there. His story inspired films, fantasies, and debates. Yes. That's right, Prescott Bush had his skull. Thank you for that. I think Brad got this one first. Although Brad's using Doctor's technique of the super short answer. Doctor, Brad stole your technique. An outlaw who smiled for cameras and maybe disappeared behind it. There you go. You guys are, of course, correct. This is Mr. Butch Cassidy. Butch was born in 1866, and they think maybe died in 1908. Butch Cassidy was the thinking man's outlaw, cool under pressure, smooth in print, and possibly still laughing somewhere in the Andes. Yeah, Butch. Top two. Here she is. The lady who once shot a cigarette from her husband's lips. Oh, she toured with Buffalo Bill's Wild West show around the world. They didn't really tell the rest of that story about shooting from her. Was it a straight-on shot or was it a shot from a profile? She outshot royalty, generals, and expectations for women. Yeah. Brad is correct. Yeah, could be hanging with Adolf. Who knows who's hanging with Adolf down there? Hard to say. A sharpshooting star who broke barriers with every bullet. Yes, indeed, you are correct. It's Annie Oakley. Annie, get your gun. This is Annie, get your gun person, right? That isn't about somebody else, is it? 1860 to 1926. Annie Oakley didn't just aim at targets. She hit societal norms square between the eyes. She was grace under fire with a trigger finger. Yeah, it was Peru, right? At least in the movie, it was Peru. That's the only place I know it from is the movie. All right, number one. We can imagine who number one is already. It's not hard to guess. He claimed to have killed 21 men, one for every year of his short life. He escaped jail twice, leaving bodies behind. Charming, deadly, and forever young in the public's eye. He was killed by Pat Garett, or not, according to some. Yes. And it was interesting that Wyatt Earp was not in the list. The most enduring outlaw icon of the Wild West. Mr. Billy the Kid is, of course, correct. Billy the Kid, William Bonney. Kind of an odd-looking dude in this picture, but apparently a real photo. Billy the Kid is Wild West distilled, young, reckless, legendary. Whether he died at 21 or lived in disguise, the Kid became a symbol that refuses to fade. Now, didn't Emilio Estevez play him? I can't remember. Is that right? Emilio Estevez? Did he play Billy the Kid in one of the movies, like The Young Guns or something? I can't remember. Brad's got the lightning internet. We're directly wired in together. Keep your head down over there in Southern California, Brad. All right, well, that was kind of fun. I thought it was kind of fun. I don't know if you guys thought it was kind of fun or not. Hopefully. Let's do a quiz. Pop quiz. Let's see if we can get through this at all smoothly or not. Which Montana town was once the state territory capital? Anybody know Montana town? Going once. Alex is in the house. What's going on, man? Montana town once the state's territorial capital. No? No. Not Jerome. Not Jerome. I'll tell you. Or maybe we'll just leave it open so that it makes the other questions a little harder. We'll come back to it. All right. Which Nevada town moved in 1904 and collapsed by 1911? That didn't last very long. Which Nevada town? Not Calico. Not Calico. Nevada town. There you go, doctor. Doctor's got it. Rhyolite is correct. Which town inspired the phrase, "Goodbye, God, I'm going to"? You might know this one. Brad might know this one. Which town inspired the phrase, "Goodbye, God, I'm going to"? Not Calico. Not Jerome. Yeah, they're harder than I thought. You know, I'm kind of a ghost town guy, so I kind of used to be into ghost towns. So maybe these seem easier for me. That was Bodie. Goodbye. Goodbye, God, I'm going to Bodie. All right. Which silver mining town in California is now a roadside attraction? Now it's time for your answer there, Doctor. Or Maddow. Yes. Oh, Brad's got it too quick. Brad got it too quick. He beat you. That is Calico. Calico. Yeah. All right. Last little pop quiz. Which Arizona town was known as the wickedest town in the West? Anybody know Arizona town? We just do little pop quizzes between the rounds, Alex. Quick pop quiz between the rounds. Not Bannock. Bannock was the answer to the first question about Montana. Bannock was... You guys didn't do too good at the ghost towns. I hate to say it. This is Jerome. once as known as the wickedest town in the West. There you go, Doctor. All right, well, you guys didn't do that well at that, but that's okay. Let's move on, and we'll try to do. We're gonna do the hardest category of the night after whipping you at that. We're gonna do the mysteries of the Wild West. So we're looking for mysteries. All right, you guys know the rules of this game. The robots do the painting, you do the guessing, and I give some confusing clues along the way. Once again, top 20 countdown of the greatest mysteries of the American Wild West. So, if you don't know your Wild West mysteries, this is going to be hard. But we'll try to use the clues. A head in a jar toured California in the 1850s. It was said to be that of a famous outlaw who fought injustice with a blade. Some saw him as Robin Hood, others a bandit. So this guy's head used to tour in a jar. His story inspired the legend of Zorro, the actual story of him doing, deeds. But the head's identity was never confirmed. So I guess who is the legend of Zorro based on? We can derive that from the clues. Head of Professor Dulio. I like that answer. I don't think it's right, but I like the answer. Going once, going twice. This guy's name was Joaquin Murrieta. So this is the legend of Joaquin Murrieta's head. Joaquin Murrieta's severed head became a macabre sideshow and a symbol of myth-making in the Wild West. Whether freedom fighter or folk villain, his legacy remains as murky as that jarred trophy. I know you guys were hoping for a little video of the severed head, but drink tequila with Mark Twain. Thank you for that additional fact. We always appreciate additional facts. Number 19. Maybe you know this one. Residents once heard ghostly wheels at night without a vehicle in sight. It reportedly rides through the ghost town during storms. It reappears during storms. Witnesses have seen spectral horses pulling a driverless rig. Some claim it's carrying the souls of the doomed. The haunted stagecoach of blank remains one of the West's eeriest sightings. This was one of our ghost towns on our last pop quiz. Does that help? It is okay. Doctor, I think you reasoned that out, and then Brad added in his answer, and now we have it. Now we have the correct answer complete. It is the Phantom Stagecoach of Bodie. You guys didn't know about that story? Bodie is frozen in time and haunted by more than history. This spectral stagecoach proves that some echoes of the past keep right on rolling, even if they've lost their way. Yeah. All right, you guys put that together. As a team, you got the correct answer. All right, they don't get easier. Bandits allegedly buried a gold stash near the U.S.-Mexican border. The canyon's name comes from a violent, bloody ambush. Searchers have risked their lives to uncover the loot. Despite clues and maps, no one's found a nugget. One of the most enduring treasure legends of the Southwest. So, there's some bones there, and we're talking about an enduring treasure legend of the Southwest. And let's see, what other clue did we have up here that helps? The canyon's name comes from a violent, bloody ambush. What? Treasure of Sierra Madre. Good. I've never heard of this either. This is called the Skeleton Canyon Treasure. There you go. The tale of Skeleton Canyon sparkles with danger and gold fever. Whether there's actually treasure or just tales buried there, the mystery keeps calling adventurers back. Yeah, this category is tough. This category is a challenge. But that is the theme of the show. Mysteries of the West. And you may get this one. The infamous Tombstone Shootout used multiple revolvers and rifles. Those weapons were collected but later vanished. Museums argue over which guns are real. Some claim they were stolen or hidden by family members. The firearms from the OK Corral remain a bullet-riddled whodunit. So, what we're looking for here is the name of the legend, and I've given you all the clues. So this is called the Lost Guns of the OK Corral. Anybody hear that? White Earp's Missing Guns. So Rhombus, you've heard of it, Rhombus? You've heard of it. Tell me you've heard of it. Brad, did you know? Good. I'm glad you know what. You've heard of what, at least? More than lead was lost that day. The missing guns from the West's most famous gunfight prove that history sometimes vanishes faster than a six-shooter's echo. There they are. We found the guns. All right. You've just learned how the game's played, and that's how you were able to answer that. That's good. Oh, on these, the clues definitely surround the answer. They surround it. All right, now we've already talked about this one tonight. Now, this lady was known as the Bandit Queen. She had many enemies. She was shot in the back while riding home by someone she likely knew. Multiple suspects emerged, including family members. Great. No one was ever charged with her murder, though. Remember the bandit? Who's the Bandit Queen? Her killing remains one of the West's most notorious cold cases. No, Calamity Jane wasn't the Bandit Queen. We did talk about who the Bandit Queen was, though. Oh boy. No, it's still not Jerome or Calico. The death of Belle Starr. Remember Belle Starr? The Bandit Queen. Belle Starr died the way she lived, surrounded by danger and legend. Her unsolved murder adds a grim coda to the life of one of the Wild West's most infamous women. There you go. Dead as a doornail. I'm surprised the robots let me paint that. There you go. All right, this one's pretty creepy. Number 15. She's often seen in a glowing blue dress, wandering alone at dusk. Her apparition glides silently through the ruins of the old fort. She's said to be searching for a lost soldier's lover. Huh. Visitors report sudden chills and soft sobbing. Oh my goodness. Now what we're looking for is what this is and where is it? A ghostly woman haunts fort, a symbol of lost love and eternal longing. You guys haven't heard this story, huh? This is the Blue Light Lady. The Blue Light Lady. Got a good figure, it looks like. Of Fort Laramie. So I guess it's a well-known legend. I didn't know it either, but the Blue Light Lady isn't just a ghost story. She's a permanent resident of Western folklore. There she is, the Blue Light Lady of Fort Laramie. Learn something every day on Dave's After Dark. Here we go. This one's pretty creepy too. A mass grave was discovered in the Arizona desert. Probably cartel. Everybody was decapitated. Sounds like cartel. With no weapons nearby. Theories range from ritual killings to outlaw vengeance. Some even suspect a centuries-old cult. The mysterious headless remains have never been explained. I don't know. Anybody ever heard of this one? So, this is the Gila Bend Headless Skeleton. Gila Bend Headless Skeletons, of course. Like something from a horror novel, the Gila Bend Skeletons are a grim reminder that not all frontier tales end with a shootout. Some leave only questions and no skulls. Yeah, Meadow Mountain Massacre, right? Meadow Mountain Massacre. I have done a video on that, but I don't think we've featured it yet. We'll have to feature that one night. Meadow Mountain Massacre is not on my list. It'd be good to be on my list, but it's not on my list. All right, here we go. This is another mystery. So he died of tuberculosis in a Colorado hotel. So I think we know who that is already. His grave marker sits in a mountain cemetery. But no exhumation has confirmed he's there. Oh, they never found the body. Some claim his body was secretly moved to Georgia. Yeah, you guys know this story. Very good, Rhombus. Right. You know this one. Even in death, Doc Holliday remains an elusive gambler. The fate of Doc Holliday's grave is the name of the mystery. Whether he lies beneath Colorado soil or somewhere else, the legend of Doc Holliday lives on. The West loved the mystery, and so apparently did he. Yes, the Huckleberry guy. I'll be your Huckleberry. All right, well, there it is. That's the grave, supposedly. All right, now I'm sure you'll get this one. Number 12. These are hard. These are hard. We're learning something through this round. A gambling queen turned Southern lady vanished from public life. She allegedly lived under an alias in New Mexico. Her final resting place is debated, even by local historians. Her transformation from saloon star to spiritual recluse raises eyebrows. This lady's later life and death are as mysterious as her poker face. I guess she was a card player, a card-playing lady. I've never heard of this. This one's called The Strange Death of Lottie Deno. D-E-N-O. Lady Gaga. Good guess. Lottie Deno. Oh, her name kind of rolls off the tongue, though. Lottie Deno played her cards close, even in death. Once a riverboat gambler and saloon legend. I guess she was a legend. Her curtain call was a quiet fade into folklore. Strange Death of Lottie Deno. There you go. Who knew? Not us. We didn't. Rama's got it. Oh, yeah. There you go. You're right. All right. These are hard. Number 11. Here we go. Legend says a cave in Arizona hides ancient gold. Those who seek it fall ill, go mad, or vanish. Guardians of the treasure are said to be the spirits of the Apache warriors. Clues and traps surround the rumored location. One of the most feared and fabled curses of the Wild West. All right, so this one's the name of a curse. This one's the name of a curse. It's a little hard to tell, but up there on that mountain ridge are a bunch of Apache spirits. Gold fever has driven many west. Some riches come with a deadly price. It's the ultimate gamble, treasure or torment. Any guesses at the name of the curse? The name of the curse. The gold was cursed. Nice. Good try, Maddow. This is known as the curse of the Apache gold. Curse of the Apache gold. There you go. All right. Mercifully, there are only 10 more. Yeah, we make it through this round so that we can do the Boomtowns. Here we go. Now, you've heard of this person, kind of. He was assassinated while playing billiards in Tombstone. The bullets came through a window. No witnesses saw the shooter. Several men were suspected, none convicted. Now, here's the key clue. The Earp family blamed political enemies. Blank Earp's murder was never officially solved, despite high-profile suspects. A bullet ended his life, but the mystery of who pulled the trigger remains unsolved. In a chaotic aftermath of the OK Corral, so this is after the OK Corral, this cold case left a scar that no vendetta could heal. This wasn't Wyatt, this is Wyatt's brother. No, you haven't heard of this. Morgan Earp. Morgan Earp. There you go. Morgan Earp. Bet you didn't know that. All right. Well, anyway, Morgan Earp. The death of Morgan Earp. That's correct. All right. So this one almost could be on Art Bell's program. Okay. So mysterious orbs of light dance across the desert at night. First recorded sighting was in the 1880s. 1880s. They've been blamed on spirits, aliens, and atmospheric anomalies. Scientific studies have yielded no definitive answers. The blank lights are one of the West's most enduring natural mysteries. There they are, those lights. See those lights out there in the distance there? And not those purple ones that are the effect. Those other ones. Those are the mysterious orbs. And they're called something, not the Phoenix lights. I like where you're going. I like your thinking. But it's not the Earth lights and it's not the Phoenix lights. These, of course, are the ghost lights of Marfa, Texas. M-A-R-F-A, Texas. Marfa, Texas. Still visible today, the Marfa lights defy logic and lure tourists and ghost hunters alike. The Wild West had shootouts by the day and unexplained wonders by the night. All right, there you go. Now this one we've kind of heard of, and it has been featured in John Wayne movies. So there's that. A young British rancher was ambushed by lawmen with shady alliances. His death sparked a bloody feud that did involve Billy the Kid. This is all part of that one John Wayne movie. Remember that one? The real motive behind the ambush is still debated. No one was ever tried for the killing. So we're looking for somebody's murder. And it sparked a war. So this guy's murder sparked the war. Anybody remember the story? What was the name of that movie? John Wayne. With the Billy the Kid and Pat Garrett, and they were all in there. Chisholm. Wasn't it Chisholm? No, was it Chisholm? Can't remember. I think so. Anybody remember what this is called? It's the murder of someone and then the war. So, as the story goes, this is Mr. John Turnstall. Wasn't he the store owner or something? The murder of John Tunstall. I'm sorry, Tunstall, not Turnstall. John Tunstall and the Lincoln County War. There you go. Once again, learn something every day on Dave's After Dark. All right, we got another treasure. Dang it. Number 7. There we go. Another treasure. Said to be hidden by fleeing Aztecs or Spanish explorers in the Utah mountains. We're in Utah. But this isn't the Mountain Meadow Massacre. Ancient symbols and maps point to hidden caves. Treasure hunters have died searching for it. Some claim it's cursed by or guarded by spirits. I thought we just had the Apache spirits. A mythical cache that blends Aztec myth with Wild West obsession. So I think you're onto something there, Rhombus. You're onto something, but it has another name. They were searching for the lost city of El Dorado, right? But they were searching for a certain treasure as well. So they were searching for the lost city of El Dorado and a certain treasure. Whether the gold ever made it north or not, the dream of somebody's treasure keeps adventures digging and dreaming. It's where myth meets metal and danger. All right. Well, I guess I got to give it to you. This is the lost treasure of Montezuma. The lost treasure of Montezuma and the search for El Dorado, city of gold, right? There you go. Yeah, there you go, Ramos. You had it. You had it. I think I've got a slow download on my end on the answers. I think the feed's probably just barely okay, but I probably see the answers a little late. All right, so this one's interesting. So this is the site of one of the most infamous last stands in U.S. history. So you know it. Visitors report hearing phantom war cries and seeing spectral soldiers. Some blame residual trauma. Yeah, there was a little trauma there. Others claim spiritual unrest. Park rangers have documented multiple unexplained incidents. So that guy's looking out over a graveyard where the guys got buried right where they got killed. Right where they got killed. No, not the Alamo. Not the Alamo. The echoes of somebody's defeat seem reluctant to fade. If the battlefield could talk, it might sound like cannon fire and cries in the wind. Then again, maybe it already does. So they got ghosts here. This is Custer's last stand. Custer's last stand. Yeah, Little Bighorn. The ghosts of Little Bighorn. There you go. Makes sense. Makes a little bit of sense. All right. Let's see. According to the robots, these are the top 5, but they're just really 5 more that are hard. All right, here we go. A rancher stumbled upon a cavern filled with stacked gold bars. The military quickly seized the site and sealed it off. Well, that sounds typical. He was never allowed to return. And no official, so the rancher was never allowed to return. And no official treasure was acknowledged. Yeah, they took it, right? They took it to Fort Knox. Although, we don't hear much about the auditing the gold in Fort Knox anymore, do we? Some say it was Spanish gold. Others think it was post-World War II loot. A lost treasure site allegedly covered up by the U.S. government. Anybody have any idea what this might be? Sounds like a good story. I might have to go do a deep dive story. This is known as the Treasure of Victorio Peak. The Treasure of Victorio Peak. Victorio Peak's tale mixes gold, greed, and government secrecy, making it a conspiracy theory wrapped in treasure map, whether hidden by soldiers or swallowed by the desert. The truth remains locked away. I am sorry these are so hard. But, you know, it fits the category. So there's that. All right, number 4. This guy was a sheriff by day and allegedly an outlaw by night. Before vigilantes hanged him, he's believed to have hidden a vast fortune. Another treasure? Numerous treasure seekers have searched Montana's hills. No gold has ever been confirmed or recovered. The secret stash of a double-dealing lawman turned into an outlaw remains locked. So we're looking for this guy's name. This guy, this sheriff that stole the gold and hid it somewhere. This is one of the mysteries of the Wild West. And it's known as the disappearance of Henry Plummer's gold. Henry Plummer lived a double life and left behind double trouble. His gold, if it exists, could rewrite his legacy, or at least buy a heck of a lot of whiskey, which, at this point in this round would be good. All right, gentlemen. 3 more. We're going to make it. 3 more. Now, this one's pretty famous. You might have heard of it. You might have heard of it. You might not. Deep in Arizona's Superstition Mountains lies a gold mine with a deadly reputation. Numerous maps point to it. In my intro tonight, there was the treasure maps that relate to this one. Numerous maps point to it, none the same. Many who search for it end up lost or dead. Legends say the mine is cursed and guarded by spirits, the most infamous lost mine in the American West. All right. Does anybody know the name of this lost mine? Pretty famous. Not famous enough, obviously. This is the Lost Dutchman's Mine. The Lost Dutchman's Mine. Whether it's fool's gold or fabled fortune, the Lost Dutchman's Mine is a story with legs and ghosts. The West may be tamed, but this legend refuses to be found or forgotten. The Lost Dutchman's Mine. All right, so you're going to know the next 2 stories. I don't know if you know the mystery part. So we're going to be looking for the mystery and 2 stories that you know coming up. Last 2. Yeah, don't be talking about no Brokeback Mountain. I couldn't make it through it. I couldn't make it through that movie. I heard it was good. I heard it was a good movie. Anyway. Here we go. Number 2. Officially, they were gunned down in Bolivia. We've talked about this. Not Peru. Who's saying Peru? Is that Rhombus? Some believe they faked their deaths and returned to the U.S. Multiple people claimed to be Butch in decades that followed. No confirmed graves or remains have ever been found. One of history's most famous outlaw exits still unsolved. So who's this? What story is this? So you were saying Peru. Turns out it was Bolivia, not Peru. But supposedly it's a big mystery and a big conspiracy that they didn't really die then, right? So what is this one? This is the legend of the death of Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid. Yeah, there you go, Rhombus. Did they die in a shootout or sip whiskey in Wyoming under new names? Butch and Sundance pulled off the greatest heist of all, escaping death, perhaps. Perhaps. All right, so kind of along the same lines, number 1. And then we'll be mercifully done. All right, along the same line. Number 1. Shot by Sheriff Pat Garett, or so the story goes. Doubts persist about whether it was really him. Several men later claimed to be Billy, well into the 20th century, just recently. His burial site is marked, but is the body actually his? The West's most famous outlaw left behind more mystery than certainty. Yeah, there you go. You got that one. See, this game's easy. This is easy. Yes, this is the mysteries of Billy the Kid's death and grave. Yeah, kind of a mystery. Billy the Kid died young, but his legend aged into an epic. From DNA debates to grave disputes, this outlaw won't rest in peace anytime soon. And maybe, just maybe, that's exactly how he planned it. Yeah, that was easy, right? Well, that drove everybody off, I know. I'm hoping the last round's easier. And we do have a pop quiz. I know you guys love the pop quiz. All right, let's get it going. Where's that pop quiz? Oh, here it is. All right, Native American quiz. Famous Native American leaders. Who led the Nez Perce during their 1,400-mile retreat? Now, we just talked about this. And Brad knew the answer. This is the one where Brad got the answer very early. Yeah, promise. Very good. Okay. Now we're cruising on the pop quiz. Who successfully waged war against the U.S. Army in Wyoming? Wyoming is the key here. But not the Dakotas. No, not Geronimo. Geronimo is down south. Arizona territory. Arizona, Utah, New Mexico. You're narrowing it down. You're getting there. You're getting to the right answer. That was pretty nasty warrior. Tough guy. Oh no, did he move the Dakotas? All right, I stumped you again. This was Red Cloud. Red Cloud. There you go. All right. Who became the last Comanche chief and a diplomat? Now, we talked about this very early on tonight. He was born to a white mother and a Comanche chief. Who became the last Comanche chief and a diplomat? Yeah, there you go. Rumbas. All right. Who resisted the U.S. and Mexican forces in the Southwest? Now. All right. Who resisted U.S. and Mexican forces in the Southwest? Who knows? Yes. Very good, Manel. Please, one more. Who defeated Custer at the Battle of Little Bighorn? I think we know. Do we not? You know, we're going to drill these into your heads. You're going to know these. By the time we do this same round 3 or 4 times, you're going to know this. This one is sitting full of cards. Of course. All right. Let's do our last round. Let's get this over with. All right, so what does that leave? We're going to do Boomtowns. Well, you know the rules. The robots do the painting, you do the guessing, and I can use the heck out of you along the way. And once again, we are going to do the top 20 most famous boom towns of the Wild West. So these are towns that grew massively during the late 1800s, I guess. There you go. The first one we talked about a little earlier, it was, except you're going to see pictures of them this time. That's cool. But, you know, it is robot pictures, so there's that. It was Montana's first territorial capital. The town sprang to life with a gold rush in 1862. Yeah, hang on to that, Jerome, because, you know, it probably comes up later. Probably does. A schoolhouse and gallows still stand as chilling reminders. It was home to a sheriff who moonlighted as an outlaw. This is where that guy was, we just talked about with the stagecoach, and he stole the gold, and yeah. A ghost town today, blank was once the rough and tumble heart of frontier gold fever. There you go, madame. Very good. Chief Joseph Stalin. Well, you know, your answer's too late. It would have been correct. And Madame has it. That is correct. This is Bannock, Montana. Bannock, Montana. Bannock's short-lived glory saw boom and betrayal in equal measure. With riches in the hills and crime in the streets, it remains frozen in gold dust legend. Gold dust legend. There it is, Bannock, Montana. Now, this next one I think you've heard of. That's one of the more obscure ones. I think you're going to know quite a few of these. Okay? I think we got that going for us. Gold seekers and gamblers flooded its lawless streets. Famous for a poker game that ended with a bullet. Remember the story about the dead man's hand? A frontier woman with a rifle and a nickname made it home. This is where what's her name was from. The town's main street saw as much blood as gold dust. This is where Wild Bill Hickok died, holding the dead man's hand. Aces and eights. Who knows where this is? Check it out. It's a cool place. These are real pictures, incidentally. Kind of robot interpretations, but real pictures nonetheless. This is where Calamity Jane lived. This is where Bill Hickok took the bullet. How soon we forget. Deadwood, South Dakota. Deadwood. This is Deadwood. Deadwood was more than a town. It was a feeder, a vice, a death, and a legend. Its cast of rogues and roguier rogues made it a stage of Western mythology. Yeah, there you go. Who knew? Okay, now we've talked about this town several times tonight. Several times. People moved there so fast, the phrase blank fever was coined. It had more gunfights than churchgoers. It was once California's second largest city. California. Miners, outlaws, and drunks made up most of the population. Yeah, madam, very good. So here was the key clue coming up. A boomtown so wild, one kid famously wrote, "Goodbye, God, I'm going to Bodie." And see, if you're paying attention, it helps. Bodie burned bright and burned out fast. Now a ghost town, it's a preserved state park, and it feels more like a Western set waiting for another shootout. All right. Are we already on the next one? No. Confusing me. Don't confuse me, robots. All right. There it is. Burn bright. You can hear gunfire, cattle, and poker chips. We did talk about that being Bodie last one, right? All right. Legends like Wyatt Earp and Bat Masterson kept order. It was once home to more saloons than churches and schools combined. A phrase from this town means get out of here. The wickedest little city in America, and it earned every syllable. This is in Kansas. This was Tombstone's a good guess, but this is the other most famous town, kind of in the West. Like, you see a Western movie, you see something, it's either in Tombstone, or it's in Deadwood, or it's in this place, Kansas. Silver City, good guess. No. Oh, no. This is Dodge City. Dodge City. That sound right? Oh, you got it, madam. Very good. You're awesome. Dodge City wasn't tamed. It was just learned to dress up its mayhem. Oh, with gunslingers on payroll and justice dealt behind the bar. It's the town that gave the Wild West its name. There you go. Okay. I'll take your word for it. Okay, still in Kansas. Let's stay in Kansas for number 16. The first of the infamous Kansas cow towns. It's a cow town. Longhorn cattle and longer tempers met here. Okay. It's a little tough to see in the early going here. A little tough. Well, Bill Hickok tried to enforce law, and he made headlines. Cowboys flooded the town after months on the trail, where the railroad met the open range, and all hell broke off. So, this is where they brought the cattle to put them on the railroad, I guess. This is the first infamous Kansas cow town. It's in Kansas. Anybody else know? This town may not have invented the Wild West, but it wrote the first chapter. With every cattle drive came chaos. With every lawman came a legend. So yeah, the cowboys would come into town and raise hell. So you had to have good sheriffs. Any guesses? How about Abilene, Texas? Abilene, Irene. Abilene. All right, there you go. All right, now you guys been itching to say this one. Silver made it rich, but violence made it famous. Can't really tell yet. A lot of polka dots. 3 men died in 30 seconds near a corral, forever etching its name in history. It boasted theaters, newspapers, and a lot of gunfights. Its most famous lawmen had names straight out of dime novels. Yeah, Brad. You got it. Tombstone was not much. Kind of a tumbleweed and dust. This is the town where Wyatt Earp, Doc Holliday, and the OK Corral wrote Western legend. And yes, you're correct. It is Tombstone, Arizona. You are correct, Brad. Tombstone wasn't just wild, it was theatrical. Gunfights, feuds, and justice were all public entertainment in a mining town where the bullets were as common as silver. There you go. Yeah, tumbleweeds and dust. And nowadays, right, it's a ghost town. there's lots of ghost stories, ghost tours. The ghost tours. All right, I think you know this next one. I really do. I've been there. Brad, you've probably been there. Near Tahoe. You go skiing in Tahoe, you go to this ghost town. This was a big city back in the day. The Comstock lode made it one of the richest places in the U.S. And this is where Mark Twain launched his writing career. Got that going for it. It once had over 100 saloons on a single hill. Fires, floods, and fortune hunters shaped its saga. Not quite, Brad. Well, you're all over it. That's not it. It was a silver city. Madal. Madal takes it. Correct. Virginia City, Nevada. Virginia City. Yeah. I've been there. I had a sarsaparilla there. Maybe were we there together, Brad, back in the day? Many years ago. I think we might have been there together. I'm not sure. Virginia City was all about extremes, wealth, wildness, and whiskey. It gave the West not treasure, but stories, and a national voice in a young Samuel Clemens. We've been many places. We have. Hard to keep them straight. All right, number 13. You might know this one. It's another city in Arizona, but not the one that Rhombus likes so well. Whiskey Row earned its name with saloons stocked wall to wall. Shootouts were a common form of conflict resolution. Of course. It served as the territorial capital when they were sober. The rougher it got, the more famous it became. This Arizona town that drank, shot, and governed from the same bar stool. Not Jerome. You are correct. It is not Jerome. This is the other town in Arizona. Anybody know? Still a big town. Not that big a town. Not that big. Not Tucson big. This is Prescott, Arizona. They still have that, like a town square and a bandstand and all that there. Old school still. Prescott was a government seat that felt like a saloon with voting booths. Equal parts politics and pistols. It defined the rowdy side of Western governance. Prescott, Arizona. Prescott. There you go. Never heard of it? Look it up. Look it up. Google that shit. Number 12. All right. That's a pretty big city nowadays. It was founded almost overnight with the coming of the railroad. Big railroad town. It was nicknamed the Magic City of the Plains. Wild Bill Hickok and Buffalo Bill Cody, remember? Buffalo Bill Cody, rode through town. One of the 9/11 hijackers trained in Prescott. Good to know. Good to know. Now, this is the railroad town. It had opera houses, fine hotels, and vigilante justice. A western boomtown that sprinted from tent to capital in a heartbeat. Now, this town is featured in that, what was that HBO series with the guy that helps build the railroad? I forget the name of that show. Yeah, Madel, you got it. Remember the name of that show? What's that show where it's the Southern guy from the Confederate Army, and he's working to build the railroad for the robber baron guys. Hell on Wheels. Hell on Wheels. Yeah. Yeah. Cheyenne, Wyoming. Cheyenne was a city built at steam engine speed. It blended frontier grit with high society dreams. There you go. All right. Number 11. Let's go to Colorado. Colorado. Now, this was the last great gold rush in the continental U.S. It minted millionaires and it inspired mayhem. Labor wars exploded as quickly as mining fortunes. Now, this town is what helped birth nearby Colorado Springs. So Colorado Springs, big town now. Next to it, though, is this original Boomtown. A town where the ground gave gold and the streets gave drama. Anybody, look at this town. That's a couple shacks. Not golden. Next to Colorado Springs, this is the original Boomtown where the gold rush occurred. Got a cool name. It kind of rolls off your tongue. It's where a place you'd like to be from. You can put your address. Gold Springs, I like that, but no, it's not it. It's not it. It's called Cripple Creek, Colorado. Cripple Creek was a powder keg of riches and rebellion. It turned shovels into gold and miners into moguls or corpses, depending on which day it was. There you go. Cripple Creek. Okay, top 10. Top 10. Another big city in Nevada. This one was born from, like the others, born from silver dreams and rugged mountain roots. A vital hub for freight politics and pioneers. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this is the state capital now of Nevada. And once again, next to South Lake Tahoe, right next. It's named after a mountain man. It became a state capital. We did talk about that mountain man earlier. The beating heart of Nevada's frontier at the time. Not Reno. Good guess. It's the other town. It's the other town. A little south of Reno. Drive down the freeway. A little bit. Up over the hill from South Lake Tahoe. And you're at this place. This is Carson City, Nevada. Carson City. Carson City was where silver met statesmanship. From lawless beginnings to political settlement, it proved a Wild West town could grow up. Kid Carson. There you go. That's correct. We talked about him. All right, let's go back to Colorado for another one. This one's got kind of a cool Old West name. Cool Old West name. Perched over 10,000 feet high. Well, get altitude sickness there. It was once one of the richest towns in America. How about that? Silver made it shine and draw some of the West's most infamous outlaws. It had ice palaces, gun duels, and scandalous drama. Doc Holliday fought and fled here before heading south to Tombstone. This was a mining mecca that balanced wealth with sheer wildness. Can anybody think of a town in Colorado that actually at one time was one of the richest towns in America? I know I've seen pictures of like a really cool hotels on the main street and Cool stagecoach. Yeah, there, the picture kind of shows it a little bit there. Anybody know where this is? Any guesses? Colorado. This is called Leadville. Does that ring a bell to anybody? Leadville. One of the richest towns in America. Leadville was a boomtown in the clouds. Fabulous and ferocious. If you weren't rich or shot, you were probably just new in town. Okay. There you go. All right. Number 8. We're getting down there. We're getting down there. Number 8. Now, this is a big town today. This is a big city. This is way down south. A violent border crossroads between two nations and many loyalties. Smuggling, gambling, and sudden death were daily realities. John Wesley Hardin was famously shot in a saloon here. I guess that's a famous story I don't know. Lawmen fought to tame its deadly streets with little success. Now I think this is Lonesome Dove might have spent some time in this town. Yeah, Rhombus. I think Lonesome. Am I right? Lonesome Dove kind of had a little time in El Paso, Texas. El Paso. El Paso was a pistol-packing port of entry into the Wild West, and sometimes a one-way trip. Its dusty saloons whispered secrets with Spanish curses and gunpowder. El Paso. Yeah. That is the salsa. So that's not the name. It's just El Paso, just in case you were wondering. Number 7. All right, let's go back to Wyoming. Believe it or not, there was another big town in Wyoming. This is another railroad town where hanging out meant you might be hanged. Vigilante justice was swift and popular. Need to go back to that. Need some Charles Bronson action on the streets. One of the first U.S. towns to give women the vote. Huh. From roughnecks to reformers, it housed contradictions in spurs. A Wild West experiment in progress and equality. I don't know, that sounds weird. No, we did Cheyenne, Brett. You missed Cheyenne. Buffalo is in New York. Geronimo is in Arizona. But hang on to that, because has it come up yet? It might still. This kid's got a cool cowboy name. Cool cowboy name. Anybody know? There you go, Brad. Was it that last clue? Laramie, Wyoming. Or did you recognize it? Back in the day. All right, well, good luck. Now, Brad, I think you know something about Oklahoma. So maybe you can get this one. Now, this boomtown rose from prairie dust to 10,000 residents literally overnight. The 1889 land run sparked its chaotic birth. So this is where Tulsa sounds like a good guess. Tulsa is incorrect. Probably a town near Tulsa. Don't know. Don't know for sure. Don't know Oklahoma that well. A territorial capital by the time most folks had unpacked. Lawmen, squatters, and politicians collided daily. A city built in a day and fueled by land, law, and lunacy. So this, I guess they had the land offices here in this town. Any guesses? There you go, Mad Al. How'd you know that? Very good. That is correct. Guthrie, Oklahoma. Guthrie, Oklahoma. Guthrie was Wild West's fastest town. Fastest town. One day. Founded with the sound of a gun. Fittingly, you didn't move to Guthrie, you raced for it. Yeah, that's where they handed out the land. Yeah, Brenda would have known. Okay, top 5. Here we go. This is the town I drove through on my trek across the country when I moved to South Carolina. I drove right through this town. Bigger town now. It's a pretty big town these days. But it was the launch point for marshals riding into Indian Territory. Judge Isaac Parker earned the nickname Hanging Judge here. Now, I guess he was a hanging judge because he used to hang people, not that he was hanging. It hosted the final appeals of some of the West's most infamous criminals. Law and order were dispensed in batches, often by the gallows. A frontier courtroom where justice came swinging, literally. So, this is the town somewhere that was kind of a launching point for the West, and this was like where the law was. There's no law west of here. This is where the judges were, where the courts were. That's where the courts were. And there was no law west of here. Judge Roy Bean's a good answer, but we're looking for the place, the Boomtown. Boomtown. Judge Roy Bean was actually out west. He was the only law out west. This is Fort Smith, Arkansas. Fort Smith, where outlaws met their reckoning. It was half courthouse, half execution yard, and all business when it came to law enforcement. No messing around in Fort Smith, Arkansas. Yeah. I just drove straight through. All right. Should we do another cow town? Another cow town in Kansas. Another city. Can you believe there's 3 cities in Kansas? I can't. This one's well known for Twisters. One of the cow towns that grew wild with longhorns and whiskey. Wyatt Earp and Bat Masterson served law here before Tombstone. They're both here before Tombstone. It had shootouts, saloons, and surprisingly, forward-thinking infrastructure. I don't know what that means, but trains and trails made it a key stop for cattle and chaos. I guess the infrastructure is the train. This is a western boomtown with more lawmen than sheriff's stars. This is where all the sheriffs are from. All the sheriffs made a run through this town. So we're looking for another Kansas town, not Dodge City. Culver City is not a place you'd want to be tonight. That's in LA. And you don't want to be there tonight. Well, anyway, I don't know if you can tell by the picture, but this is Wichita, Kansas. Wichita. Right? Wasn't it famous for the Twisters? Tornadoes? Ellsworth is a town. All right, top 3. Now I've been here. I've been to this place. And I'll tell you, it's very artsy. But here's the key clue. This is one of America's oldest cities. It thrived as a Spanish trading post. It was a cultural crossroads long before the cowboys arrived. Its adobe architecture withstood centuries of conflict. Both Native American and settler history collide in its streets. This is a Wild West town with ancient roots and timeless mystique. All right, so that building on the right is still there. It's been remodeled once or twice. This is right on the main plaza. And this is America's oldest city, I think. I think it might be the oldest. If St. Augustine in Florida might be considered an older city, but this will be next. Anybody know? I don't know if we have an internet delay, but this is Santa Fe, New Mexico. Santa Fe, New Mexico. Soul of the Southwest, old, wise, and full of layers, its story began centuries before the Wild West, but embraced the era like an old friend with a pistol. Top two. Top two. Now, these are both big cities, but they were very important in the American West. Okay? Trust me. What began as a gold camp became a Rocky Mountain empire. It connected railroads, ranches, and riches across the West. It is famous for its mile-high attitude and rough-and-tumble growth. It once hosted the City Hall War, a real standoff between politicians and police. Doctor! For the team. And Leadville. Leadville was earlier. This one is Denver. And Detroit is in Michigan, Alex, in case you're wondering. This is the capital of Western ambition and attitude. And it is Denver. It doesn't literally look like Denver today, but, you know, throw it up a little bit. Denver, Colorado. Denver rose from dust to dominance faster than most towns could settle up. From saloons to skyscrapers, it grew into the ultimate frontier metropolis. Denver, there it is. One more Boomtown. Can you guess what it is? Very important in the whole Western movement. Westward ho. But this one did boom almost overnight with the 1849 gold rush. It was home to outlaws, vigilantes, and the wildest of the West Coast dreams. It was part gateway. It was the gateway for gold, goods, and chaos. Yeah, Doctor. Earthquakes couldn't shake its legacy. It just kind of reshaped it a little. The unofficial capital of the Wild West economy and the legend. So yeah, people used to, take the ships around the tip of South America, and they'd come into the port there, and then they'd sell them shovels and things for $100 for a shovel. Right? You know the story. All the shop owners got rich. The gold miners didn't get rich. You're correct. It's San Francisco, California. San Francisco was where the Wild West met the wide world, diverse, dangerous, and dazzling. It set the tone for frontier cities and lived like the gold might run out tomorrow. There it is, San Francisco. I have lived there for a year. Quite the experience. Quite the experience. I've lived a lot of places. Paint Your Wagon. Love that movie. Love that movie. How come that hasn't been on any of my lists? Paint Your Wagon. Lee Marvin, right? I think that was Lee Marvin. Not sure. Hey, thank you guys for hanging out with me tonight. It was kind of a long haul through those Wild West mysteries. but we did make it. Oh, was Clinton? Oh yeah, Clint was in Piggy Wagon too. Now why doesn't it show up on a Clint list? Huh. Strange. I don't know. Well, guys, I think we're gonna call it. But anyway, that was fun. So again, I don't know if you let me real quick. Let me real quick pull up that schedule. Let me add that to the stage. Here we go. Just real quick. Once again, Wednesday, Brad Pitt. Don't forget, Brad Pitt. And then the following next Sunday, a week from today, no show. Sorry, no show. You're gonna have to do something else. We'll be back though. And then Wednesday, the 18th, we'll be back and we'll be doing top sitcoms of all time. So anyway, just want to remind you of that and bid you guys all a good evening. I appreciate everybody being here. Brad, it's good to have you hang out so long. Alex, good to see you. Adam, Rhombus, Doctor, everybody. Appreciate everyone. Robots. All right, man. Take it easy. I'm going to put a little video on and say good night. Good night.
The night wears heels, she struts alone. This bar's the place I call my home. I sip the swallow pride, pretend the moonlight lights by my side. Tell me, was it ever real, or just a song you used to feel? I still burn, I still ache, I still whisper your name when I break. In this velvet room where memories bloom, I still wait for a shadow to take shape.